Yeah, so it's actually been forever since I did one of these reviews. But yeah, no, I'm here doing another review, guys, and it is November. It's past my birthday. I am now 18 years of age, which means I'm legally allowed to do so many things, like check the over 18 box for once. But for you guys today, I'm actually doing a review of the Microsoft Surface Pro. Sometimes I forget the name, I call it the Tab. The Tab is actually like the tablet version, whereas the Pro is kind of like the tab top, like the tablet sort of. Yeah, it's funky like that. But here it is, guys, right here, 12.3 inches of just really good, like sturdy premium material. And if you guys are in the time frame, you're buying something for Christmas, I'm pretty sure this would actually do the perfect job for that. So this Microsoft Surface Pro is actually the base model. There are two other types of Surface Pros, and there are actually the Surface Books, which is actually a new sort of product that's actually less of like a detachable keyboard and more of an actual like laptop, just that with like you flip the keyboard around type. The screen size of this one is actually 12.3 inches diagonally across and 2,736 by 1,824 pixels, running at 267 pixels per inch. Its processor is the Intel Core M3, which is the base model. And essentially the way it works is the lower the processor, the lower the graphics card. Essentially, that's how it works. So like the better graphics card you get, the better processor. It kind of goes hand in hand. With 4 gigs of RAM. The two other models, the two other Surface Pros, have 8 gigs and then 16 gigs. Ports that we have on the side are we have one USB 2.0. There is I'm pretty sure there's a model with a 3.0. There's a micro SD card reader, a 3.5mm headphone jack, and a mini display port. This is the base model. The next model has an i5 processor, and the next one above from that has an i7. And like I said before, they have correspondingly better graphics card with the processor and more RAM as well. One thing I noticed with the touchscreen itself was that there was a bit of a latency, almost like a lag. It wasn't that bad, but it definitely could be improved upon. Especially with the Microsoft Pen, there is a more apparent lag that comes with it, which is noticeably more than that of the iPad's Apple Pen. And I do actually have a friend of mine who owns an iPad Pro. The Apple Pen wrote really, like, the latency on it was not that bad, but I find that when I use the Best Buy or the pen for the Microsoft Pro, I used it in Best Buy and there was a little bit of a lag, but not like it wasn't that super bad. It was more like you just had to slow down with what you were writing. The one thing I do like about the Microsoft Surface Pro though is that it's super compact, and its package size allows it for it to be used in a multitude of different settings, different areas, spaces, but basically like buses, cars, airplanes. I've not had any trouble using it in the car or on the bus. It's surprisingly easy to use in smaller places as well, just thanks to the sturdy hinge on it. In my opinion, is it better or worse than the iPad Pro? So the iPad Pro is actually the competition with the Surface Pro, both of the keywords being Pro. The Surface Pro, I feel, is more for people who want to be able to use a Windows computer, but like use it like as like a tablet, whereas the iPad Pro is a tablet, and it's like just basically like a, because you technically can't call it a computer, because that's what a MacBook is, and one runs iOS and one runs macOS, so there's no real it's not really the same in that sort of way, but it definitely has like the same sort of family. So I guess it's just what you're looking for. Are you looking for a big tablet, or are you looking for a small computer that you can basically use as a tablet? Now the Microsoft Surface Pro does use tablet mode, but I find myself not using that very much, just because I personally just like having a small Microsoft computer that I can bring around with me wherever I want. But I've used it a couple times, and honestly it's not that bad, but it's definitely not as optimized as the Microsoft operating system. So the build quality, when I first picked up the Surface Pro at the store, just from the offset, yeah, the Surface feels really premium. It's got an aluminum body, and the soft keyboard that comes with it, it just makes it feel like a really good just package deal. In my opinion, it doesn't look clunky. It looks really sleek. It has a very modern design. It just because the way the rectangle is shaped, it looks like it could fit anywhere, So the Microsoft Pen used to come standard with the Microsoft Surface Pros, but as of late, they've actually just been taking that out of the package, just because they realize that they can now do what Apple's doing, and that's charge users for an accessory, even though we really want it. But what they do is actually lower the price of the computer and the package in total, so you end up not getting the pen, because if you want the pen, you go and buy it, and you're basically you're saving, but you're also not at the same time. Watching 4K video on YouTube is perfectly fine, and you know, just using like Photoshop or Illustrator is honestly that fine. It's just when it comes to like loading and, you know, like processing stuff, it's a little slow, but it also is the base model, so understandable. One thing that really ticked me off was when I'm trying to like use my SD card on the Surface Pro itself. So there's no SD card like a big SD card reader on. There's only the micro SD card reader. So I had to actually go out and purchase my own little SD card reader, like a USB one. And there was a USB port, so I just plugged it into the side of it. And then when I loaded it up, it didn't come up. But then once I put in a like USB hub, like an extension, it worked. And that just kind of annoys me because, I mean, it does give me more USB hubs, but I just feel like I should just be able to plug it right in and it should be able to work, but it doesn't. So if you guys enjoyed this review, or if it was helpful at all, or you know, even aided you in purchasing one, please leave a like down below. It really helps me out. And if you guys want to see more content like this, please hit the subscribe button right here. And if you want to see more videos just like this, hit the button right here. I'll have like a certain of videos. Maybe even my last video, go check that out too. Thank you guys for watching. I wanted to get back into reviews because that's what my channel basically started on. It's what I was really heavily influenced by when I started YouTube a couple years ago. And I'm just glad to be making this type of video again because I do love these types of videos, and apparently you guys watch them a lot. So I thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.